Howdy do. So, disclaimer, the comments are locked. That's to help me moderate things like racism, sexism, and peer hatred. As long as your comment has none of those things in it, your comment will be approved, 100% guaranteed. Especially because critique, criticism, feedback is well accepted. Now moving on. Riot Game, no S, has made a champion in the game League of Legends that is somewhat problematic for some people. And that person's name is Viktor. Now, Viktor, for me, is actually one of my favorite mid laners for a while now. But especially in the pro scene, he was kind of under the radar and not really seen until last year, when Koro of the then ggTigers pulled him out and was, ridiculously good on him, showing he was actually probably very meta. And then he started popping up everywhere, and the ggTigers, then the Ku Tigers, now the Rox Tigers, which you can see at IAM Katowice, by the way, this weekend. A lot of people started picking him up and playing him. Now the problem is, though, a lot of people at first complained about his death, ray, and now everybody complains about everything about him. Kind of as usual when it comes to complaining about a champion. Eventually, the whole champion's just bad, and it's just really unfun to play against, etc., etc., right? But there is actually a thing about Viktor that makes him a bit more frustrating than other mages. Most mages, even if they're somewhat decent at both, they're usually better at one of these two things than the other, either being a better control mage than burst mage, or better burst mage than control mage, and Viktor does kind of some of both. And that's really the problem, is that he can zone people out very easily, drop the Gravity Field and Chaos Storm to help siege a tower, poke somebody down with the Death Laser, or just straight up cut them in half, because they don't even need legs, because you really can't outrun this guy because of that whole movement speed he gets on his Q and all that jazz. And apparently I'm a scumbag for liking him in the mid lane, just like I like Echo too, and that's a problem. But one of the things I would advise, I guess, playing against Viktor, in my experience with any champ that's been frustrating, it's both playing against them, which is part of the problem here. You play against them enough to know that they're frustrating to play against, but then playing as them. And I know that's a shock, because me even suggesting that is like, oh my goodness, oh well, yeah, okay, I might as well, sell my soul. It seems like that's what I'm suggesting when I say play as a champion that's problematic. But no, I'm not. I know some people are like, well, I sell my soul to League of Legends anyway with all this, I pay more money to League of Legends than I have in bills. That's not a good thing, by the way. And stop it. But what I'm saying is sometimes, looking at the, spotlight isn't enough. You need to experience playing as them and against them in scenarios to know how to best play against them. Because maybe you know how to play against burst mages and control mages already, but maybe that's the extra step you might need that might help you along the way. And, part of it is just maybe even getting into the player's head or getting into the head of the person of trying to figure out what they would do in certain situations and scenarios with that champion. And maybe Viktor's not the kind of person whose head you want to get inside, because that's the dude that decided to build an extra arm, but then be counterintuitive by holding a staff in one arm, and as such only still having 2 free hands. So maybe that's not the best example of a person's head to get inside of. At the same time, he has the creator's skin, which is kind of like a mix of Darth Vader and the Terminator, which is pretty cool, but also probably something that doesn't want to stay anywhere near lava, in both cases. But the whole joke, onward to Viktor E, because the Death Laser can be kind of annoying. In my opinion, it's a little bit obvious, because every time Viktor's walking towards me, I just assume that's what he wants to shoot at me. And in lane phase, it makes him be able to shove really fast once he, gets that 1,000 gold, upgrades that thing, and just, melts minion waves pretty easily. They did nerf him in the current patch 6.4, I believe. But, going forwards, the best advice I could give to playing against him, because I see so many complaints about him, is just, if you can, play as him. I know that's not something you want to do with every champion you don't like or you hate, but sometimes playing as him might give you a perspective or an insight that might help you beat them later on. Or just play Anivia, because Anivia apparently is even worse to play than Viktor. Apparently, playing Viktor was not, bad enough for me. The fact that I said, oh, I just went deathless with Anivia against Viktor made me even worse. So there's also that too. But that's all for this video. I wanted to make this one kind of short. Just, Viktor, some issues with him, but maybe some ways to play against him, So that's all for this video. I don't know what the next video is going to be, because life is full of a lot of kinks. But until next time, take care. GG, get jinxed.